Good morning, everybody. I felt that the Lord put on my heart that I needed to share my testimony and the why behind Bloom Ministries, basically. Because I do know that a lot of people don't know all the different branches of it, and it's kind of sort of transformed organically over the last few months, honestly. It started off with just one thing and ended up in different things, and so that's why I kind of just started calling it just Bloom. But I really thought it was important for you all to know, for the community to know, kind of the why behind it, but also the different branches of it, so that when people are talking about it, you're not confused or there's any misunderstandings with that. So I thought that was really important for everyone to know what they're supporting or what they're behind, and what I was going on within that. So and I just, again, thank y'all so much for hopping on and spending some of your Saturday morning with me. It means the world to me. And I was trying to give, you know what? It's okay. We're just going to go with what's on here, and the Lord will work the rest of it out. So, to give you a little bit more about why Bloom exists and how I ended up. I'm sorry, Megan's comment got me. Oh, thank you. I do kind of like it. It's cozy. So, to give you a little bit more context behind Bloom, why it exists, and why I'm sitting here right before you guys today, the truth is, it all really started with some difficult things I went through when I was growing up. And honestly, if you told me years ago that I'd be sitting right here right now talking to you guys, I probably would have laughed or cried, or maybe a little bit of both. So for a long time, I questioned whether I could really do anything like this. And that was from teaching at church, or, I mean, even just speaking about the things that I'm going to be speaking about today. Just, I could, I never would have believed that. I've never had, I guess, I struggled with confidence. I've, throughout my life, and not naturally a very bold or confident person. So, all of this comes strictly from the Lord. That's all I can say about that, is just completely the Lord, because it still blows my mind daily, the things I have done up to this point. And again, just, man, he blows me away all the time with looking back where I was years ago, the person I was years ago, to this moment. There's been so many things that I'm not even going to talk about today that he's worked just in all the different ways, and I'm just so thankful and blessed for it. But over time, I've realized something important. When the Lord's calling you to do something, who are you to question him? Because I've questioned many times, why me? How? There's nothing special about me. But that was really, I shouldn't have done that, because who am I to question him? When he's called many people who probably thought or felt the same way to do things, and he knows what he's doing. So I just have to sit in that and remind myself of that all the time. And I am getting better about that, not questioning anymore, and just being thankful and grateful for that. And I always think of Moses whenever, Jesus asked him, or God asked him to do what he did, and he was like, he didn't want to speak. I can't speak. You're going to have to give me somebody to help me speak. And I feel like that sometimes. But I have to remember that. But he was obedient and did what the Lord called him to do. So by the power of God, here I am, right here in front of you ladies, or you guys right now. But to get to the good stuff, when I was a kid, my childhood was really hard. My biological dad struggled with drugs and alcohol. And because of that, there were a lot of difficult and traumatic things that happened in my life. There were times when my family and I stayed in Salvation Army shelters and women's shelters. And life really felt unstable for many years of my life. You know, sometimes weirdly, I have memories of those women's shelters, specifically the one I stayed at when we were a little older. And those were actually like kind of good memories, which is weird. I know that sounds really, really strange, but you know, it was just very quiet and calm and safe. But during that time, all of that, I wanted to speak a little bit about my mom because I didn't want to leave her out in this. My mom was really young when she got pregnant and married, and she loved my dad so much. And I think that she did what she knew and what she thought was the very best, keeping her family together, which is, I think, what a lot of women end up doing. She truly believed she was doing what she was supposed to do, keeping her marriage intact, which was, you know, a really hard thing. My mom is a very strong woman, and she's loved us very deeply her whole life. For a long time, she kept trying because she believed she was doing the right thing, and eventually she realized that staying in that situation was doing more harm than it was good. I mean, even for herself. And she made an incredibly hard decision to step away from it. Looking back now as an adult, I can see just how difficult that must have been for her. And I have so much respect for her and the strength it took for her to protect us and move forward. Some people might look at that as she should have got out sooner. I think my mom did the very best she could. I did not think I would get emotional today. Sorry. That was all for my mama. My mother has lived a very hard life, and she has somehow, I don't know. But I just wanted to say that about my mama because my mama was a good woman and she did what she thought was best. And I love her very dearly, and we have a wonderful relationship to this day. So anyways, sorry. So even through all those hard moments, God was still working in ways that I couldn't see at the time. He always is. And when I was about 17, I stopped talking to my dad. And honestly, we have not had a relationship since then. And for a long time, you know, I carried a lot of hurt from those experiences with my dad. But over time, God has really began to heal parts of my heart, you know. And I learned that forgiveness doesn't always mean that someone has to be in your life. It does mean letting go of that hurt, though, working hard on letting go of that hurt. And through the power of the Holy Spirit and by God, that He's really helped me tremendously through that. And yes, there are times I still struggle with things. Sometimes I feel sad about my relationship with my dad, and I actually feel really sad for him because he's missing out on so many wonderful things that with my kids, with my sister's children. He doesn't know his grandchildren. We have and so that's really sad. I feel really sad for him, and I pray for him. And so you know, I think finding that forgiveness and trying to heal through that has been extremely important. But so through all of that, the Lord just really had started putting things on my heart about teen girls for some reason. And I was like, man, I don't understand this. What are you trying to tell me, Lord? And good morning, Danielle. Thank you. I was like, what is the Lord trying to speak to me through all of this with these teen girls, you know? And I'd never done anything like that. I've never taught anything. I don't even like speaking in front of people at all. When I was in school, I was the kid who, please don't call on me to read. Please don't make me get up in front of the class and speak. I would turn beet red and physically be ill. Just not good. I mean, I would probably be sweating bullets and just wanting to crawl into a hole and disappear. That's me. And somewhat can still be that way, but I have definitely gotten much better through the last couple of years. He has definitely pulled me out of my comfort zone and used it crazily. But about 8 years ago, that burden really began to grow. A lot of those thoughts came through car rides home from work and just trying to, like, what are you trying to get me to do? I don't, because I couldn't see the whole picture. So eventually I talked about it out loud, and then me and my friend Carrie at church started a meeting with high school girls on Sunday nights. And we would just, 2 or 3 hours, we would be there talking with these girls, and we would have planned Bible study type things, but we would also sometimes just sit there and just talk about God, talk about life, talk about struggles. And I got so much joy out of that. It felt right in so many ways. And then, of course, COVID happened, the lovely C word, and shut everything down, and we never resumed those meetings after that. And I felt for the longest time I was just missing something so badly. I missed it, and I don't know like why I didn't start it back, but it just was like getting back into it for some reason and seemed a little hard. But a few years later after that, I began teaching like the 3rd through 5th grade girls. I was asked if I would like to take over that age group, and I really didn't feel led to teach that age group. Like, I didn't feel pulled to that, but I prayed over it, and Cody was very encouraging. He's like, why don't you just do it and just see how you feel about it? And if you decide that doesn't feel right, then, let's just go from there. And I said, okay, well, I guess I'll just do it. They need somebody, and I'll do it. So I started teaching those girls for a couple years, and then I think it was about 3 years. And then about 2 years ago, the older group of girls just was still so big on my heart. Like, he just kept speaking to me, and it all worked out to where I was able to join my friend Ashley, who's been teaching the middle school girls at church on Wednesday nights for years, and she allowed me to come on and co-teach with her, and it's been such a blessing. And it was so amazing because all of my girls, my finished year, my girls that had been with me for 2 and 3 years that were in the 5th grade, graduating, moving into 6th grade, came with me. And so I've been able to be with those same girls for 4 or 5 years now. And I'm just going to tell you, there's just something about watching those girls grow in all their little stages and just getting to be a part of that with them that is really been a blessing on my life. Sometimes, you want to strangle them a little bit, but only out of love. But I love every one of them, even my older girls that I've been with too. It's just, I've been with some of these girls for just so long. So they're just a blessing. And through all that time, the Lord kept putting more and more in my heart over the last probably 2 years. Really, it's been a slow progress, and I've probably dug my heels in a little bit, or been a little scared, or questioned myself again, like I told you I did before. And I can't, it was just seemed too big for me. But I'd had this thought of wanting to be able to help girls, not just my girls at church, but a different group of girls, a group of girls that were maybe in the same situations that I was in growing up, that were in, difficult home lives, traumatic trauma in their life. Maybe they'd been staying in women's shelters too, or maybe they haven't, but they've just been in just chaos or uncertainty in their lives. Or, maybe they have a good mom at home like mine, but she's struggling because she doesn't have the support of, their dad or whatever. And, and that they just need someone to bring them some extra kindness and some extra love. And good grief. Really, really, really didn't think I'd be this emotional today. Good goodness. Okay. That needed some extra love and some Jesus. Absolutely Jesus all the way. So again, just thinking of ways I could really do something kind for those girls, because I was that kid. I was the angel tree kid, or the kid who sometimes had to have, Christmas supplied to them from the school. And so I know what that feels like. And I don't know, I just want them to feel special and to feel loved and to have a little, I don't know, just something in their lives extra that's maybe not been there before. And so originally I was thinking, what if I was able to grab or make goodie bags, like think basic necessities, you know, hygiene products, little happies, little, you know, fun things, and take them to the school, like have the school counselors let me know what girls are those that they know the group of girls that are in need of things. They have things that they do themselves at the schools the best that they can with food, and they have hygiene products and stuff like that too. But I was thinking of just a way I could help really do that. So that was my initial goal. And then, thank you, baby. My girl has made me a little note.
And it's for everybody.
She just made me this. Follow your testimony. Ain't that so pretty? Thank you, baby. She's really trying to encourage me, and she's been praying over me this morning.
It has confetti on
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, so anyways, it started from there, and then that actually started turning into more. I was like, I just feel like I want it to be more than that, and I want to do more with it. And eventually it was like this thought of a clothing closet came to my mind many times, but I was like, I don't have the space for that. I don't have all the things I need. I wouldn't even know what to do. Thank you, baby. I wouldn't know what to do with it or anything. But the biggest thing was obviously I don't have a space for it. And I started talking about it out loud to a few different people, just my thoughts and how I wish I could do that, and kind of what I envisioned. And one way or another, you know, I talked to my preacher about it, my brother Rick, and eventually they were like, you know, I'd asked them, we have a whole space upstairs in our Family Life Center. It used to be our children's wing before the new church was built. And I actually used that room and decorated, me and Carrie did, back whenever we were teaching the girls on Sunday nights. I made it look really cute. But the whole upstairs, there's 4 rooms and a huge hallway. And I thought, man, if I could just use like maybe 2 of those rooms, I might could do a clothing closet in there. And so I was talking to Brother Rick about it and them, and he thought it was a great idea. And so I was really excited. He was like all for it. So of course, in my mind, I was like, I have a space. I have a little space to work with, and how wonderful and how big of a blessing that is. And so I really started kind of thinking through those things and planning. Okay.
Hey.
Lakin wants to say, hey, good morning, everybody. So anyways, I started thinking about all of those things. And again, this was one of those things where I sat on it for a while, you know, and I just couldn't, I don't know. I don't know what it was. Like, I guess it was just a little fear, a little, all the things I've already said. And I was sitting here one morning. I knew I needed to reach out to the guidance counselors at the high school, Miss Danette and then Miss Skelton, and either meet with them or talk with them and try to figure out what is the best way I could do this? What is the best way I could play a role in these areas? How can I get the information on what the needs are and all the different things, the numbers. I needed the numbers, and trying to figure all this out myself. And so I met with the school counselor, with Miss Skelton at the middle school, and, you know, she was willing to let me come in and supply the goodie bags or different things. And I kind of told her about, back up. I was sitting on my chair one day doing my Bible study and praying, and the Lord hit me really hard, and he was like, what are you doing, and why are you not moving? And I prayed, and I stopped what I was doing, and I sent out the emails to the counselors. So I got off my foot, and let me just tell you that when I actually made the step, that one step, I can't even tell you all of the little things that started taking place and happening. And God was like, this is what I've been trying to tell you. Like, why have you been waiting? All I needed you to do was just be obedient. And so that's what I've been trying to do, is be obedient. And so that's when I said, when I met with Miss Skelton, and she was wonderful, and she wanted to allow me to come in and do that, and, you know, bring things and love on the girls in the ways that I could. And, you know, I did tell her that I definitely had hopes of opening a clothing closet eventually. Of course, I didn't know when or how that was going to look per se, but then also Miss Honeycutt reached out to me, and completely off my radar, completely not in the plan at all. And she was like, you know, we have clubs at the high school. And I really think it would be really great, you know, if we started a club for girls. And I would really like you to be, you know, be ahead of that. And at first I was like, I don't know, that's not really what I had in the plan. Sometimes it takes me a minute to get on board, okay? So I talked to her and I was a little like, I don't know. And I prayed over it and I was like, why would I not do that? Why would I not go into the school? I had free reign of being open about my faith, about I can speak about Jesus. These girls knew before they signed up for the club that about my faith, and that those are things that would be spoken about. So there's no worry there. They made that choice, and it has been such an additional blessing that I've been able to do that. I go meet with them every second Wednesday of the month, and I've only got one more left for this school year. And we only get a very short period of time together, but I think it's been great, and I hope the girls have really loved it. It's definitely been a blessing for me, and something, and just an extra added benefit to all of this. And so I named it the Bloom Club. And originally I had a different name for the ministry side of things, but I decided to keep it all Bloom, because that way people would really start to see eventually it's, you know, there's a Bloom Ministry overall, and then there's branches of it. So we have the Bloom Club, we have just Bloom Ministries, which will be kind of the main umbrella, and then we have Bloom Boutique, and I like calling it Bloom Boutique because it just feels better. So now you know kind of what Bloom Club is. It's kind of a separate thing over at the high school. I really wanted everybody to understand today what the different things were, so there was no more confusion or anything behind all of that. So Bloom Club is the high school girls. Any girl can come to that. There's no, it's just anyone. And then there's the heart of everything is the Bloom Boutique. And that is a space that I wanted to create for these girls. So what I think is going to happen is they're going to come in through referrals, probably from the school, but I may open that up to other things too within churches and maybe even other schools eventually. But it's going to start with our schools, with middle school and high school girls. We will have, clothing and basic necessities, anything I can put in there, I'm going to try to put in there, shoes, all the things. And I wanted it to feel beautiful and to feel special and unique for these girls. I wanted them to come in and have a completely different experience. So it's going to be literally like a boutique feel. I want it all the pretty things, all the special things. And so that's why I have all these things on the wish list and all the extra things maybe. But I really think that's important. And that is what the Lord's put on my heart. So I want to be sure that I do that. And then for the ministry side of things, I just felt like Bloom Boutique was what with the heart behind it. But then I want it to be the space to be open for more than just that. I want to be able to have a space where if we want to have little Bible studies or maybe little coffee and whatever, I don't know what all that looks like yet, but I wanted everyone to go ahead and be aware there, that space will be used for that as well too, for different things to really support girls in general in our community, because they're just so dear to me. And just so I wanted to have different branches of that one umbrella, and I wanted you all to understand that. So as far as the space goes, my church has been phenomenal in supporting me, and I'm not going to cry again. My preacher and the leadership has been so wonderful. And that's another one of the things that I feel like God just completely opened everything up with that. They pretty much gave that whole entire space to me that I was telling you guys about earlier. The whole space. Could have used it for other things. They gave it to me to use for this space. And they have supported me and really shown me how important this is, encouraged me because of their support. And so they will never know how much that means to me, that they've, done all that. They've come together and Adam Wallace has painted the space for me, and it's looking so beautiful. We still have a few things to finish on some accent walls. That's because I've got to get up there and tape them to make these really pretty striped walls in the main 2 boutique rooms. And so I'm super excited about that. Thank you, Holly. And so anyways, he has done a great job, and he is got it looking really pretty up there, and they let me redo the trim. It needed it. It was kind of a little icky looking, but they did, and it's been wonderful. And they've helped in some other ways too, with helping me prepare and get things for the space. But I hope that, gosh, most importantly out of all of this, I want these girls to know about Jesus. That is the heart behind everything. How can I love them in the way that Jesus would? How can I walk alongside them in the way that Jesus would or has me? And what ways can we lift these special girls up that really need it, but also just in general. Girls need encouragement. They need love. They need understanding. They need some people that they can talk to and share things with. And I've learned that sometimes painful parts of our lives become the very things that God can use to love and serve others. I truly believe that. He has definitely taken my story, my hurts, and my pain. And there are times where I'm like, I don't understand, why, but now I do. We're going to go through things in our lives that we don't understand, and that may feel unfair. But God never promised that we wouldn't go through pain. I mean, look at what Jesus went through on this earth, and he didn't deserve a single stitch of it, everything that he went through for us. So who am I to avoid suffering? That doesn't mean he loves me any less, but he uses that. He has used this. Like I said, going back 8 years ago, I cannot believe that I'm right here, right now, talking to you guys about a ministry that I'm starting, and it's all Jesus, all him. 2 Corinthians 1:4 says, it reminds us that God comforts us in our troubles so that we can comfort others. And I truly just believe that. So this went a lot longer than I meant for it to, and I'm so sorry, but I really appreciate all of you that have been able to watch or joined. As far as Bloom support, I'm so thankful for those that have already supported. I know life gets crazy and hectic, and there's a lot of things going on all the time, I know. But if you feel led to, or you felt moved by this in any way, or this whole ministry, if you would, first of all, ask for prayers, because that I need more than anything, that these girls need more than anything, and the team that I'm creating, pray over that. I'm still working on that, but I have some already lined up, and just praying over those to come, praying the Lord's going to provide me a team and a connection of people, but that if you feel led to support this monetarily in any way, right now I have a Amazon wish list. I will post the link to that in the comments whenever I'm finished. There is a way to just do monetary, like just donate money. I mean, $5, $10, whatever you feel led to do. Or if you just want to purchase an item, I know like some people like to do that. They feel it's more exciting for you to get to actually purchase like a specific item. All of that would be such a huge blessing for me and for this space, and the community support for this is going to be very much needed. I will eventually have a QR code set up for our church so that you can just directly donate through that as well. I just don't have it just yet, but it is coming. And I would, what was I going to say on that? I had it. So we've got making sure we're not forgetting anything. Got the QR code that is coming. And I've already told you about the Amazon wish list. Yep. Oh, so as far as clothing and all the things, right now I'm not currently taking donations, because I have had some wonderful boutiques that have actually donated boxes of clothes that I have got to really go through, like when I get the rack set up on the walls and stuff, and really see what I have. Like Generation, I don't know if they really want me to tell you all that, but hey, shout out to Generation, because they gave me a ton. And I have a feeling that won't be the last time they do it. Pink Poppy is going to be giving me boxes of clothes. I just have got to go get them from her because I haven't done that yet. And I have another little boutique that has reached out to me. Oh my goodness, I feel awful. Please forgive me if you hear this. I don't remember the name just yet, but she is going to work on trying to give me a few little things for some smaller sizes. So right now I'm not taking any donations. I think that's going to, such a big blessing, y'all. That's another one of those God things that just has been amazing. So I just ask for y'all to pray for me. I ask y'all to support it in any way that you can. It means the world to me. And if you have any questions about anything, feel free to reach out to me about it. I feel like I covered everything, but I don't know. So I appreciate all of you again. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but okay, baby. I also have Hartley sitting right here by me, like whispering in my ear every 5 seconds. So I'm getting a little distracted. So again, thank you again so much for being here with me and listening to all my rambling, because I feel like I've rambled a little bit, and I'm so sorry for that. I do that. And again, if you have questions or whatever, reach out to me. And I'm here for any of that. And I love all you guys, and I'm just so thankful for you and for prayers big time. It means the world to me. Again, I hope y'all have a wonderful Saturday. And again, I will drop that link in the bottom when I get off here. Love you guys.